Hi, and welcome to pmplounge.com. And as you can see, a lot to discuss today. So, basically, we are dealing with two things: project management lifecycle and project management process. What's the difference? What are the common things? What's the deal with this two? Let's get started. Well, first up, why bother, right? Why should you read about these two concepts? Well, to begin with, the understanding of fundamentals of PMP. And by the way, we have a very comprehensive YouTube playlist about the fundamentals of PMP. And this video is also going to be a part of that playlist because that playlist is incomplete without the understanding of such basic concepts, the project management processes, the project management life cycle. So stuff like these is basically uh, the basics, the very basics. The foundation was the word I was missing, right? So stuff like these is the foundation of your understanding of PMP. Based on this is where you are going to erect the entire PMP studies structure. So the basics need to be well understood, and so that is why it's important, right, to understand something like this. The project management or project lifecycle, so it is also known as the project management lifecycle or the project lifecycle. And what it is, we have discussed this earlier as well, the types of project management lifecycle or the types of project lifecycle. We have discussed them in detail earlier, and I will link to those videos in the description as well. So the project lifecycle, a project may follow any life cycle because there are a lot of models and methodologies available out there. You talk about waterfall, you talk about agile, and those are all the project life cycle that a project may follow. Okay, and then the processes are etched in stone. That means the processes are well defined and they are not going to change. So, although in a project you may follow any life cycle of your choice, the processes, the project management processes are always going to be the same. All right, let's get started with project management or the project life cycle. So what you need to do the work. So to do two times, keep an eye on that. Whatever that you need to do to achieve the work or to complete the work is what project management or the project life cycle is about. So it's project management life cycle or the project life cycle. Just clarifying it in case you're still confused. So let's talk about a software project. What all do you need to do the work or to get the project done, to complete the project? So you gather requirements, you need to complete a system requirements document, you do a high level design document, you do the coding, testing, and then finally delivery. So these are the things that you need to do to complete that project. Let's talk about a construction project. So again, you gather certain requirements, you create a CAD drawing, you procure materials, you do the construction, and then finally hand over the building. So these are the items that you need to do in order to do a construction related project, right? And of course, there could be changes, there could be addition, subtraction, right, in the number of activities that you need to do in order to complete a project. Let's take a look at an agile project. So what all do you need? You need a user story, you need to do a 14-day sprint, you will then come up with a shippable product and you'll give a product demo, and then again you'll go back to the user story, again a 14-day sprint, again a shippable product comes out, right? So those are all the things that you need to do in order to do a project that follows the agile life cycle, right? Agile, as I mentioned in one of the previous slides, the project life cycle or the project management life cycle can follow various models or methodologies. Agile is one of them. So if you're following the agile project life cycle, this is what you do, right? So all life cycles, be it a waterfall life cycle, be it a agile life cycle, they all deal with the activities that are required to be done in order to deliver the project, right? We spoke about a software project, we spoke about a construction project, we spoke about again a software project that is following the agile model. All of these are just the activities that you need to do in order to do that project, right? So this is what project life cycle is all about. Okay, now let's move on to the project management process. What is this? So this is what you need to do to manage the work. So life cycle was to do the work. This is to manage that work, right? So this is quite simple. So all projects, no matter what industry and no matter what life cycle they follow, will always have the five project management processes. And remember, in the initial slide, I mentioned that project management processes are etched in stone. Well, I mentioned that because initiation, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, closing are the five project management processes that will always be there in all of your projects, no matter what industry you're talking about, right? All right, so let's take a look at this image and try to understand, uh, bring everything into perspective basically. So the project management process you have on top: initiating, planning, executing, monitoring, and controlling, and closing. These are our project management processes. Like I mentioned, these are etched in snow in stone, so there's no changes in this, no matter what project you're doing, no matter what industry you follow. Then comes the project management life cycle or the project life cycle. If we are following the waterfall life cycle for a software development project, in initiating, you'll do business requirements, you'll create a project charter. In planning, you'll convert them into system requirements, you'll make a project management plan. That's the most important piece of planning, that's the most important output of the entire planning process. In executing, you'll do the design work, you'll do the coding work. In monitoring and controlling, which is basically a common process across all other processes, you'll do the testing, you'll do the project reporting to higher management. In closing, basically project will be delivered, you'll document the lessons learned. So this is a typical waterfall life cycle project for a software development basically. So that's about how these two are related: the project management process and the project life cycle. All right, now let's get into something even thicker: the process of a life cycle. What the hell is this, right? So each phase or activity of a project life cycle may involve all project management processes. What do we mean by this? We looked in the previous slide, we looked at an image, we mentioned the project management processes on top. We talked about each activity in the waterfall life cycle, right? So each activity may involve all project management processes, may go through that each activity that we discussed, right? We discussed certain activities in initiating, certain activities in planning, right? Like in initiating, we were doing project charter; in planning, we were doing the system requirements, right? So all of them may have their own project management processes. Let's look at an image to understand this further. In planning, we had system requirements was one of the activity, right? The system requirements activity may itself have its own project management processes. We may initiate, we may start off, right, the system requirements. We may do the planning of how we are going to collect all the system requirements. We may then execute, do the actual hard work, the groundwork of collecting all the system requirements. And all this while we'll do monitor and control everything, all the processes, and then finally we get the sign off and then close out the system requirements activity, right? So each activity, basically what this slide is trying to say is that each activity may have its own set of project management processes as well. And that's about it with this video. Do check us out on our social media, facebook.com/PMP Lounge and twitter.com/PMP Lounge for the latest articles, videos, PMIisms, and other tips and tricks that will be helpful for you in clearing your PMP. If you learned something new, if you like this video, do hit the like button and subscribe to this YouTube channel for all the latest, greatest, and helpful videos on PMP. As always, check out the website pmplounge.com for our detailed articles, videos, and other great stuff that is going to help you in clearing the PMP exam. Thank you.